they say it's time for Africa, and it is. You've got the biggest African players playing at the biggest stadiums for the biggest African Cup called the AFCONs. Well, joining me to talk more about the AFCON Cup is a senior journalist from London called Alaa Eldakhakhny, who's going to talk about the stage, the players, and the biggest opportunity this Cup is going to throw to the rest of the world. Welcome to the show, Alaa. Welcome to the show, Alaa. Let me begin the show by asking you your favorite question. Did you jump with joy when Mo Salah scored that last-minute goal in the round of 16?
Yeah, it was just a joy and to see my country getting through to the second round of 16, and it was a good game. I think yesterday we saw Egypt playing a very good game for a while. We were waiting to see such a game happening. And see that our players giving all what they can during the game. It was a really good game. Every coast as well as on the other side, they are very good side. So I think that was really a good game. I was just jumping around after the last penalty, and just that's it. It happened. Yes, they did it one way or another.
Well, fans were distraught when they saw those disturbing images of the stampede in the stadium. Who, according to you, was responsible for that grossly act?
There were so many ways that we know that there is a very big passion from the fans in Africa in the way they support their teams. So we know that it will be crowded. We know that there will be so many people trying to get in without tickets or with tickets, and on the way out, and especially when they have their own team winning. This should be more organized by the country in Cameroon. In Cameroon, they are trying their best from the beginning. I think they are trying to make as much as they can from out of this tournament. But I think especially this, it's very sad, very, very sad to see people dying while supporting their national team. It's not that much of, it should have been avoided. All over the last few years, there was preparation for this. Cameroon should have been well known and well studied the environment of their stadiums, and accordingly they should have been more organized than this. Yes, accidents happen, but when you are organized as much as you can avoid such a thing that can happen. There were so many things that they should have done, but I feel really sorry and condolences for all the families and for the country. And I think there should have been a kind of a little bit of more action that should have been taken by delaying games by one day, or just having something, a kind of a ceremony, especially for these fans.
Two of the most successful EPL teams, Manchester City and Liverpool Club, have been nibbling on the success of the AFCONs. Do you think they've got their strategy right by taking talent from the African nations?
Let's see how for these two teams, especially that you're talking about, Man City, Liverpool, and it's not only these only two. Every team in England or in the EPL are trying their best for the future. They are not planning at 1 or 2 days ahead. They are planning for years ahead. So I think when Liverpool, for example, had Jurgen Klopp, they had this thing or this ideas and this vision for their future in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, how it should be. That's why they had contracted with so many young players from different countries. If we can see, for example, for Liverpool, they have 3 players playing in AFCON. So they have Mohamed Salah, they have Naby Keita, and they have as well Sadio Mane. So 3 players from Africa is one of the 3 most players in Liverpool. So we can name it the football industry. The football is just a big industry, and every team is just planning. If you see Man United, when they in the beginning of this season, when they bought Ronaldo, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo, his shirts, I will give you that's a very small example. His shirt was out of stock in 15 minutes. In first day, the selling of the T-shirt reached the limit of 300,000 T-shirts for Cristiano Ronaldo T-shirt of Man United. And this is almost, if you can quick calculation, 300,000 t-shirts. Each shirt is almost between 40 and 50 pounds, British pounds. You're talking a big, huge amount of money. So how that's the industry. When you have a player who's selling you not only playing good on the pitch, no, he's doing well as one for your fans. So they will be buying his t-shirts. This is the industry that everyone is trying to invest in it. So if you're talking about the APL in general, if you can focus on two, three clubs, you will find that each club has at least a player, if not two, and clubs more. And there's other clubs that has more, like Liverpool, that are having players from Africa. So it's a reflection of that. Mo Salah, for example, if you take Mo Salah, for example, in Liverpool, Mo Salah, his value is not only on the pitch and playing football and scoring goals for Liverpool. He is a big attraction for fans and supporters from the Middle East and the Arab countries. So he is a potential marketing point and shirt selling and advertising on TV, being on TV and on advertisements, which this generates money for Liverpool. And it's not only this; it's for the reputation as well. Salah has been invited in the most prestigious celebrations, like the 100 most influencers in the world. This year, he was invited by the royal family for one of the most important celebrations here in the UK. So this all means money. The football industry is not only about selling tickets or buying this player, and as you said, for having a player, young age players, that he can buy for peanuts. So he will pay few hundred thousands and then take it from there and go selling him after 2 or 3 years for millions. That's money.
Well, is this the reason why you've got live telecast of this AFCON Cup globally?
Yes, of course. They do it every AFCON. And here in London, here in the UK, BBC, Sky Sports, they they pay for having the rights to air these games. And why is that? Why they are airing this game? Why BBC is airing 11 games from the AFCON? Because they are interested in, first of all, they will have fans or they have audience for this. They will be seeing and watching it. That's number one. Number two, and which is as well, it's very important, that these new players, can be seen. This year, if you know the round of 16, we have Gambia. Gambia is the lowest ranked team in Africa, and they are playing in the round of 16. That's a big thing. They have a very good player, Paro, the player that scored their goal and for the winner in the last game. We have Burkina Faso. That's a new name as well. These are teams and players that are seen internationally. The clubs will be interested. The fans will be interested. They can get a player or two or three maybe from Africa, from this good market of players, and joining the EPL. And accordingly, that means that they are going to pay so much a high price now, and they can invest in them in 2-3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years. He is a player that can be sold for millions and millions that generate the investment for the club.
Well, is it fair to say that AFCON Cup is the audition for the English Premier League and the European leagues?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very important tournament for all European leagues, because they will find their target in that. Although most of these leagues this year, they were just not happy to have this tournament running, and there was several ways of trying to push either to delay or even cancel the tournament, just because of the sake of the clubs that would be losing their players. And that's what happened in the EPL. I can say in the Premier League over here, they delayed the leave or the release of the players, supposing they were supposed to be leaving their clubs to join their national teams on late December, I think 25th or 26th. They pushed it to be until the 3rd of January. these players didn't leave until the 3rd of January, few days before the tournament started. And although it was a big market for them, they were trying to cancel it. It was just a little bit of a weird thing.
Well, in your opinion, do you think the big clubs are not letting their star players give 100% in the AFCON Cup?
No, they cannot. I don't think they can do this because playing for the national team is the highest pride for any player. Every player playing in the European leagues, any European leagues or any league, he will be eager to be joining his national team. That's a pride. That's an honor for him. So I don't think that clubs can push the players not to do this. But what they can do is just try to do more pressure on the FIFA, do more pressure on the organizing country, not to make it happen or to delay it or to do it the way they want to do, which is not a new thing. It happened before. It's not accusation. This is what happened. Jurgen Klopp had some statements that he was saying it's not that much of an important thing. We can delay it a little bit. And why is the reason? Because he's going to lose 3 players for 6 or 7 of the most important games for him. So it was not just for the sake of playing good games. No, it's not a sake of it's not a good tournament or not an important tournament, but it's just that they need the players so they can do the wins that they want and they can secure their advancement.
Well, Alaa, do you think somewhere that is the reason why the players are not giving their 100%, and that is the reason why Nigeria, the star-studded Nigeria, is out of the AFCON Cup at the initial stage?
I don't know. I don't think so that much. That might be much for the players, but the players maybe they were not that much ready for the games. Maybe they were not emotionally and mentally ready. Maybe they are physically ready. They have to be physically ready. They are training in the big clubs and big names in Europe, but maybe they are mentally not ready to be in the tournament. We were surprised this tournament to see big teams and big names kicked out of the group stage, which is really, it's not that we are not used to that much. If we say, for example, we have one of the teams that went out of the group stage, Algeria. Algeria is the winners of the last version of the AFCON, and they were out. They were kicked out from the stage group, which is really, really weird. Do we say that Algeria didn't play well? Riyad Mahrez didn't play well? No, they were doing their best, but maybe there was a pressure kind of, so they are mentally and emotionally not ready for this. They lost it emotionally more than physically. They were doing everything, they were trying everything, but they were not lucky enough. So that's why. But I cannot say the players.
Well, is that the reason why that you don't have a clear winner in this AFCON Cup?
Yeah, the big favorites are out, but we still have Cameroon, we still have Egypt, we still have Morocco, we still have Senegal. We have a little bit of favorite, but we were expecting to have the round of 16s or the 16th group, the knockout, to be a little bit different. The following stage that we're going through, we have two new teams, Burkina Faso, and we have Gambia. And then we have another surprise, Guinea Tropical. So this is a new country and new team coming in this tournament, and it's advancing up top, which is a good thing to see. But on the other hand, we saw a country like Algeria going out, Nigeria going out. It was a little bit hard. Egypt and Ivory Coast. It's a big game, 2 big names. So you are going to lose one of them, one way or another. So they are clashing together. So one of the big titans has to come out on his own. The coming game between Egypt and Morocco, it's a big game as well. So it's a big thing that will be happening. One of the big two giants has to go out, and one has to advance. That's really so. Getting a favorite team this tournament is exactly similar to the Europa League last year that was happening last year. In the Europe country nation leagues, it was just a little bit hard to find who is the favorite team. Everyone is playing differently. Football has changed tactically, physically, and mentally. So these changes affecting finding your favorite. I think everyone now is the best thing to do is to have his own wishes who will be advanced and being in the final.
Quite a few red cards in this game thus far. Do you think that the game has become a little too soft for AFCON?
I think so, yeah. And I'm not everyone happy with the referees in this tournament. There is so many issues that happened, especially when you see a game ending in the 85th minute. So 5 minutes before the end of the game, the supposedly played 90 minutes. The referee is just whistling and ending it. There was another situation yesterday in Egypt and Ivory Coast. There was a player that had 2 yellow cards and he was not sent off. The referee didn't send him off, which is there is so many things. And at Cameroon and the last game for Cameroon as well, it was not that much. There was something wrong. Players are taking red cards for very soft playing. Does that deserve a red card? And this has a big spot nowadays. The refereeing in AFCON this year, especially in this version, is not on the level that we are used to see good African referees. There is something wrong, and I think I don't know if it's getting softer or the referees are just saying it one way or another in a wrong way. I have no idea. But having a player taking 2 yellow cards not sent off, having a game ending in the minute 85, is that something that can be passing easily? It has to be looked in. It has to be looked in and knowing what went wrong. What's the instruction that the players have? Maybe the referees is just trying to make everyone not to have a hard challenge because they have big names in the tournament and they don't want them to get injured. But this is football. Football is about being in contact and being strong. There is some fouls that we saw counted for by the referees. If you see it here in the EPL, in the English Premier League, you're going to laugh. This cannot be counted as a foul, or this cannot be counted as a red card. Why is that? Why it's taking too harsh on countries and other countries not?
Well, for a successful execution of a huge cup, 4 essential ingredients are required. You need the best technical staff, you need the best organization, you need the best players, and certainly fans. Do you think fans are the only glimmer of hope considering the first 3 have failed?
I think that the fan part, we are seeing really fantastic fans in the stadiums. They are fantastic fans, not only in the stadiums, all around the world. Sometimes we can see the reactions that's filmed from outside the stadiums or from other countries. If you see in Algeria what was happening during the game, in Morocco what was happening during the game, in Egypt, even in countries like Senegal, Malawi, all these countries, football, I think, is just a kind of the life theorem or the life serum of life for fans. Fans are the most important part. That's why football is played. It's played for fans. So I think the fans are trying their best. We had an accident which hurt them, but this shouldn't happen. The fans are trying as much as they can. I'm really happy with the support. If their teams lose, we can see the fans giving the cheer up and just trying to be standing and supporting them, although they lost. And that's all about football. It's about the sportsmanship that you can lose and you can win. You have to accept the loss as much as you are happy with the win, and you have to be supporting your team. And that was really a good thing. So support for Algeria, for example, because in Algeria the fans are really, really intense in their supporting, and when they lost, there was still some support. That's good. So I think the fans need it. The players are trying their best. Big names are giving all in, trying as much as they can. We saw a big injury for Sadio Mane in a head clash during his game, and he tried to stay on the pitch. He scored the goal, then he couldn't continue, and he had to go out. had to be rushed out and take. So the players are trying as well. They are giving as much as they can. They are trying to be in the game, trying to be supporting. So I think that's a good thing.
Well, this is a Liverpool fan question. Do you think Sadio Mane and Mo Salah are going to compete against each other?
Actually, Egypt is going. Salah Mane is going to meet in March, I think, in the coming game for the FIFA qualifiers. So they have their own game coming on. They are the two countries playing together in the to see who's qualified for the FIFA in Qatar. So I think there'll be a clash, a kind of. I know we can see them both. I was talking to some of my friends recently, and I told them I think the final we can see either in the finals Senegal and Egypt. So we'll be seeing two games between Sadio Mane and Salah in less than 2 months.
Well, Mo Salah has the massive fan following in India. Just tell us what makes him so special.
I don't know, but Salah, I think Mo Salah is just a success story. I think that's his secret. He's a success story. He came from very, very poor background. He made his way in, and he didn't stop. He went from Egypt to Europe, and he was going there from Basel to Chelsea, then back to Italy, then back to Liverpool, making his legacy. So I think it's the success story. Trying to stay on, try to give your 100%, develop, adapt, and learn and learn and learn. Don't look back. Don't stop. Just keep going. Keep your success. I think this is the main secret of Mo Salah. Mo Salah is trying all the time, learning all the time, and he's happy with that. And he's trying to pass this message all the time in his interviews or in any time that you see him on TV. Passing the message that keep trying. Try to reach your dream. Dream high and keep chasing this dream. Don't stop. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't drop yourself for others. So I think it's just as well a kind of a charm. He has a kind of a charm. It's a heavenly gift, if you can say, or a God gift that he had. That he when you see him playing, you love this player. He's trying his best all the time. He's running, he's doing everything. When you hear his story as well, when you start knowing his background, yeah, he did it. He made it through all that way. That's really good. So you have a kind of a passion and love for the man, and you have to appreciate what he did, and you have to appreciate what he's trying to reach. And I think he would be in the coming years one of the legacies for Liverpool.
Well, is it fair to say that Mo Salah's story is like the Cinderella man of boxing, considering that he's come from a humble background?
I think Mo Salah was focusing on his dream, and he was not accepting to be pulled down by anyone. When he came to Chelsea at the beginning, he stayed here for a while. He was with the coach Mourinho. He was the one requesting him to come from Basel to play in Chelsea, and he didn't play well, and he wanted to play. He's not just a player that reaches Chelsea and he can sit there on the bench, doesn't matter, he's paid, he's everything. He didn't look for that. He wanted to play. He wanted to have an impact. And when he left and went to Rome, he tried as much as he can. He changed his mentality. He tried a different league with a different way. He learned different things. Even himself, he said when he went to Rome, to Fiorentina, and then to Rome, he was learning new things. He learned how to defend. He learned that he has to get down and defend and then go up. He learned how to be supporting in this part, and he developed. So I think the most important thing that he had in his mind, the dream. He wants to reach there, and he has to keep going on. And I think this is a big message for anyone. Just keep your focusing on your dream and work for this. And that's what Salah is doing. So I think he became the Egyptian king in the Premier League according to his effort that has been giving all for the last few years.
Well, name one country that will make huge impression at the Qatar World Cup later this year.
I hope that will be Egypt and Morocco, and its wishes as well. It's not firmed or confirmed. My wishes is to see Egypt, Morocco. Of course, I would like to see as much as African teams playing there, but I think the most two near to my heart, I can say, the most close to my heart, are Egypt and Morocco.
Well, friends, here we were on the special edition of Footcast Social on the AFCON Cup. Hope you enjoyed. Keep watching Newsx and follow Footcast Social only on Newsx.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.